Hello, dear viewer. You all right? Good. Tonight, this afternoon, today, with me to discuss the Arsenal v Brighton game in the Premier League 4:30 kickoff. It's only Josh Daw, the man from Brighton.
Yeah, it is. Thanks, Danny. I've even got my legs out for everybody because I know how much everybody wanted to see them in their glorious shade of white, should we say?
If people need a moment to turn down their contrasts, we'll just let them because the sun's shining on my big, fat, bald head. I know that was a waste of 30 seconds. Are you all right?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you.
Good.
It's good to talk through a team that looks to be, whilst watching the Cardiff Crystal Palace game, to be all safe in the league.
It's like the exterminators have come around and rid the English Premier League of all the Welsh interlopers. Anyway, where can we see tomorrow's game?
Yeah, so tomorrow's game, if you're in the UK, you can see it on Sky Sports Premier League or their main event. In Ireland, it's the same, Sky Sports Premier League or the main event. Australia is Optus Sports. If you are found in Canada, it will be Sportsnet. And USA is NBC Sports Live and NBCSports.com. UK Radio, BBC Radio 5 Live. And Danny,
the
mystery country for this year,
this
week. It's only bloody Malta, isn't it?
Malta. Chris's holiday home is in Malta.
And Eurovision guaranteed 8-pointer for the UK. Malta, who are showing it on TSN2. Malta, they've got more than one television network out there, or at least two channels.
I never would have thought that. I do love Malta.
Yeah, absolutely. So, Danny, the head-to-head.
This one, dear viewer, is going to tickle the cockles of the ye olde folk like me. Right, we have played them the last 4 games. We've played 3 at home. No, the last 4 games at home. Played 4, won 3, drawn 1, lost none, scored 7, conceded 1. You're thinking, they've only just made it to the Premier League. Surely you're talking jibber-jabber nonsense. Well, 2017-18 beat them 2-0. Monreal and Iwobi. 1982-83, we beat them 3-1 with the Arsenal legend in the making that never quite made it. It was Raphael Meade with 2 goals and Graham Rix with the other goal. Go and look up Raphael Meade because when he was a youth player, when he broke into the Arsenal first team, banging in goals like an angry rabbit, and then, woof, gone. Mystery. Then 81-82, 0-0. 80-81, beat them 2-0 with Brian McDermott and Graham Rix scoring again. The good old days when I could fit into an Arsenal kit. So, Josh, current form.
Yeah, so last 4 league games. It's always better when we're talking about Arsenal's home form. Played 3, won 3, drawn 0, lost 1, scored 11, conceded 4, and in that time we've got 2 clean sheets. Brighton, on the other hand, played 4, lost 0, drawn 1, lost 3. They haven't scored any goals, and 5 is it 5 against?
Yeah.
Danny, you've put 0 clean sheets, but how have they got a draw and not scored any without getting 1 clean sheet?
You know, you're right there. We proofread this every time, and I cut and paste this, and I'll put it in the YouTube comments, and you can go and see why Josh fucked up, because I did. At least I didn't put you down to 2015-15, did I? Like I did with John.
No, that's true. Or telling me that Wolves' best player was the
goalkeeper.
Yeah. So I'm assuming that time they have got 1 clean sheet. I can't remember the game though. But from there, should we go through injuries and suspensions, Danny?
Yes, and dear listener, dear viewer, only not listener, I made a boo-boo. Someone told me that it was Gabriel that was missing for Valencia, suspended. It wasn't, it's Coquelin. And I've had a word with everybody, and I'm blaming John, because John isn't here to defend himself. Yeah, so let's just hope we don't fuck any of this up. Right, injuries and suspensions. Arsenal, we have Welbeck, Holding, Bellerin, Ramsey, and Suarez out for the season. I think Suarez has just gone home, hasn't he?
I think around. Yeah, I think he's gone back to Barcelona. There's no point in him sticking around. You know, I don't think he's picking up anything at the end of season awards.
Nope, probably not.
No.
Probably maybe the least number of bookings because he hasn't played any games. The least wear and tear on an Arsenal kit goes to. It's a close thing between him and Lichtsteiner.
Not for his shorts though. For all that sitting down he's done, there must be a lot of wear and tear in those shorts.
Those splinters. There'll be little baubles all over his shorts. It says Koscielny slight doubt with fatigue, and the bloke's just played 6 games out of 5. Unreal. And then he was hobbling around like an old man after that. He had to make a sprint back and nearly killed him. So yes, good luck to him. Ashley Maitland-Niles.
Ainsley.
I just said Ashley and I've written Ainsley. I've done myself up like a kipper there. He is suspended. You know us people. He might not be suspended. Who knows? It could be Ashley Cole that is suspended for us for all we bloody know. Now for Brighton, Beram Kayal, central midfielder, hamstring injury. He's out. Josie Izquierdo. I think he could be.
Izquierdo.
Good. He's just been confirmed he is a Quedo. He's a slight doubt. He's a left wing, a slight doubt of a knee injury. And David Proper, I just keep thinking of those KFC popping chicken whenever I say that name. Num, num, num. He's a central midfielder. He's a slight doubt with a hamstring injury from going to KFC and getting too many poppers. So the reason why we've done this the other way around and I haven't started off with where you can see the game is because I've had no luck with trying to figure out Brighton's formation. So I've written down some stuff here. Josh is now going to ignore most of that and tell you what's actually going to probably be their formation.
Yeah, so we'll go through some of the bits and pieces that Danny's put in because, a lot of the history about this season would tell you that they have chopped and changed their formation this season. Danny's put down that, it was a 4-1-4-1 or a combination of a 4-4-2. They've also tried a 4-3-3 this season. It's all to try and get Basuma into the side, basically. But after he had a little falling out, shall we say, with Chris Hughton last month, it's been a little easier and they've reverted back to 4-4-2. A few players have played in the same positions in recent games. Most likely it'll be the evergreen Glenn Murray up top, him and his Zimmer frame. I'm sure between them, him and Koscielny can switch it between the two of them for when they need it. And Adone. In terms of strikers, I think we know what Glenn Murray's like. Or some listeners will know what Glenn Murray's like as a human being. And Adone is kind of similar, but without the finishing ability. Basically, he's just a bit of a lump up top without too much strength about him. That being said, last time I criticised him was when I went to their Huddersfield game and he scored immediately after.
Didn't we criticise Benteke the same way?
Yes, exactly. So just a little warning that he might do something. Locadia is their other striker. He's that kind of scored a load of goals in Eredivisie. Apparently they count for nothing when you get to the Premier League. He's the opposite of Wilfried Boney. You'll see Dale Stevens. He'll play in the centre of the midfield as a defensive midfielder. Davy Proper, if he's available, will play next to him. But then there's the potential of Pascal Gross or Basuma coming back into the side to partner him in the centre of that midfield. Matt Ryan, forgot his name for a second. Matt Ryan will play in goal. Duncan Duffy, again, will be the centre-back partnerships. Bernardo is probably the most likely left back out of the two between him and Bong. And then right back is depending on who's the flavour of the month at the moment. Montoya, the ex-Inter and Barcelona right back, he has been pretty out of form for Brighton. So it will probably be Bruno, another evergreen player, officially the oldest outfield player in the Premier League this season at 142.
Bloody hell.
And in terms of who we'll see on the wing, with Anthony Knockhart back from suspension, Izquierdo being out, it will be Yakumbash, the Iranian winger. He'll start on the right, and probably Solly March, who we were linked with in January, I believe, when we want. Obviously, he's English, and apparently we can see something in him. I would describe him, and you could take this in a good way or a bad way, depending on your thoughts of the player I'm going to liken him to, a little bit like Iwobi. So he's very promising. He's probably not our standard, though, but it's one of those that you put fish in a different pond and he could absolutely blossom, be a good option for us. But he's probably the one I'd look out for, a bit like how everybody was looking at Fraser in the earlier game for Spurs, where he managed to get an assist from a corner, and other than that, nothing really else. yeah, in terms of Danny's comments after going through, as you say, trying to find out what the other positions have changed so many times in the last 5 games. Even Stephen Hawking would struggle to have figured this out. So fortunately, it shows I am more intelligent than Stephen Hawking, because I've just about got it. Just about got it.
Stephen Hawking's my people, though. He's from Cambridge as well.
Yeah, that's true.
Not from. Was in. Don't know where he is now. He's up with baby Jesus. Breaking news, people. The game that Brighton got a draw was 0-0 at Wolves. The clean sheet.
There we go.
Don't want to rob them of a clean sheet. And Palace are now 3-1 up. And Josh Townsend has run the length of the pitch and put it underneath the keeper.
Excellent stuff.
Goodbye, Cardiff, you shite hawks. Get back to the bloody 70s.
It's the ghost of Emilia Sala is just taking them down.
Yes. Poor bloke.
So, Brighton players to look out for, Danny. Shall I take this as well?
Yeah, you can do. Saves me having to speak. I can just watch the football. Let me know when you're done.
True.
Send me a text when you're done.
So, Glenn Murray, I think we mentioned already, striker, 36 games.
Premier League games
this season, 11 goals and a single assist. Shane Duffy is definitely one to watch of the two that sit at the back. I personally prefer Shane Duffy. Donkey is a great centre-back as well. But 33 league games for him, 5 goals, 2 assists.
Isn't it a bit sad that their second top goal scorer is their centre-back?
Yeah, it is. It shows you all the problems they've got this season, because then we're going to put in Florian Andone, striker, 21 Premier League games, 3 goals, 0 assists. I've seen 2 of those goals. They were against Huddersfield. That's how bad he is.
Oh, dear.
And then
he's going to score a hat-trick tomorrow.
Yeah, absolutely. Pascal Gross, he was injured for a lot of the start of this season. So he's only played 23 league games, 3 goals and 3 assists. I believe he was second top goal scorer last season and definitely leader with assists. He's basically the main creative outlet for them when he's fit and firing. And then we've got Anthony Knockaert.
He's a possible doubt, isn't he?
Possible, because I remember him putting in a terrible challenge against Bournemouth, and I thought he'd been suspended for quite a few games.
We might think he might be in prison because it was so bad.
It was pretty terrible. So yeah, he's played 28 Premier League games, 2 goals and 6 assists. He is very much in the Darren Huckabee zone of players that are amazing in the Championship and not that great in the Premier League.
That's one for fuck Ellis, Darren Huckabee.
And finally, as I mentioned him already, Solly March. He has got 34 Premier League games under his belt this season, 1 goal and 5 assists.
That sounds like the kind of bloke we want in left midfield. We didn't buy him.
Yeah, I mean, 5 assists. I think that's more than Mkhitaryan.
He'd make Iwobi look good. I mean, I like Iwobi, but Iwobi's got, 4 goals in 50-odd games this season?
Yeah, I think it was a little unfortunate when Arsenal put his stats out in a birthday tweet. That helped him no end.
It's my birthday and I cry for one.
Yeah. I've got 150 games under my belt for the Arsenal and 7 goals, something like that. And then finally, Matty Ryan. He's not a Matthew, Danny. No, he's a Matty. Yeah. He has got 32 Premier League games, 6 clean sheets, and conceded 50 goals. He missed a couple of games because he's from Dom's country.
Yep.
From the land down under, and he was in whatever their tournament.
Asia Cup. Possibly.
That was the one. Yeah, he was at the Asia Cup, Asia Games or whatever.
I did text Dom and say, can you find out if Ryan is a Matty, a Maddie Do, a Maddie Moo, but he doesn't reply to me anymore. I think he might have got me.
So yeah, he is a very good sweeper keeper. I know we're going to be looking for probably a second choice goalkeeper. If he's available, I'd certainly look to him, ex-Valencia as well. So Unai might know a little bit about him. But Danny.
Yes.
That is it.
Right. What she? Oh, hello, Betty. What sort of formation? Is there anything that I like, Brighton? I'm glad they're staying up. I like the fact that they've got the new ground. I like Chris Hughton. He got Norwich, Newcastle, and Brighton promoted. He's a good manager, and he always gets shit on by a club sooner or rather than later. And it's really hard with them because they don't have much money. So I'm glad they stayed up. And so are they anything to worry about tomorrow?
I mean, they beat us last season down at the Amex, but our away form was terrible.
Did we win like 2 games all season?
Yeah, I think so. I was at that game as well. It was awful.
Oh, dear.
As the second half of the season, I would say they shouldn't really cause any troubles for us. It's the case of when Brighton are under pressure with the likes of like relegation on the line, they will struggle, really struggle. They had the same issue when they were trying to get promoted. Promotion was there. They only had to get, I think it was 2 points in 3 games to get champions, and they lost all of them. And Newcastle
won it. No, not Fulham.
Newcastle won it.
Yeah,
it's Raphael's
last season.
Won it. Yeah,
it does show that it's good that Fulham have spent all that money and they've still gone down, and Cardiff spent a few quid.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Brighton haven't get out of paying.
Brighton haven't not spent a lot of money. They've just spent it on very poor players. So the side that they've got and the side that will go out is more or less the spine of that team. Is the side that's in the that came up through the Championship with Duncan Duffy and Murray up top, and Dale Stevens in midfield. So the only difference was Matt Ryan in the sticks, but that's because Stockdale went to Birmingham instead. But again, he's similar to like Knockaert, very good in the Championship, not that great in the Premier League. So I think it's a case of just they need to get out of that Belgian and Holland, the Dutch markets, because it's not doing them any favours at the moment. They did very well getting Pascal Gross from Germany, but as we've just mentioned, Adone is a striker, not done a huge amount for them. Same with Locadia, he's not even there. He was a second choice striker until they had to get Adone in last season, and he was the record buy last season for them. This season's record buy is Jakenbash. Again, big promise from a winger that was doing fairly well in the Eredivisie, but we've read out kind of the players to watch, and he hasn't even troubled that list. So it is a case of there's not many players in there that would kind of worry me. Mainly the centre backs from set pieces. That would be the point. They are very good in the air,
and we're very weak at the moment.
Yeah, it's one of those that if Koscielny's out, I think would be okay, because
he can't jump.
Well, yeah, and for all the critique that we give Mustafi, one of his big things is he's great aerially. He's absolutely great in the air, winning headers. The same can be said for Socrates as well. So that would be the only real threat I could see from them, would be from Duffy, Dunk, and Glenn Murray. And just a case of hoping that they put in a decent cross.
We've gone 3 minutes over. What formations do you think we're going to play? Because we're 3-1 up, aren't we, against Valencia? I think we're already through in that tie. I don't even think we could fuck that up. And with Spurs winning, we really do need. With Spurs losing yet again, they've lost their 9th out of 10 away games. That this could be our chance to make 3 points on them.
Yeah, absolutely. They've lost 7 in a row now, haven't they? But nobody's mentioning that. I would be inclined to say we go 4 at the back and go for a 4-5-1, just a case of the number of players in that defence that we probably need to rest, plus suspensions. I can't see us playing Nacho at left wing back.
And the young, our young Greek bloke, what's his name?
Mavropanos.
Yeah, he isn't in our Europa League squad because we didn't have enough homegrown quota, so he lost 1 slot for the Europa League games. That's why he's not been playing. So he'll almost definitely play, won't he?
Yeah, I think so. I think maybe we see like him and Mustafi or him and Socrates. Probably him and Socrates, because that was the group or the pairing that we had earlier in the season in the early rounds of Europa League. And to be honest, I'd expect Brighton to trouble us as much as we were troubled by those kind of teams.
Maitland-Niles right back, Kolasinac.
Maitland-Niles is suspended, so
of course,
so Corporal Dickinson, maybe. Where's Lichtsteiner? Have we sent him back to Switzerland?
I think they're breaking him down. They're breaking him down for parts. They're giving his knees to Koscielny, and he's I don't know what else parts. No other parts are good. Jason wants a new knee, but they said no.
No.
So it's going to be Jenkinson right back. It's going to be Kolasinac left back.
I would say it's playing Monreal and save Kolasinac.
He's coming back from a knock, though, isn't he? He didn't look too good him on the other day. But again, Kolasinac isn't a left back, is he?
No. So I'd imagine we'd probably play Nacho
Yeah.
save Kolasinac for a bit, maybe give him 20 minutes at the end of a game, just to take Nacho out of that kind of game.
And do we need to play 2 up front, or can we get away with 1 and then subbing him off later?
We could probably get away with playing 1 up top. Maybe
Aubameyang because of the pace, because their centre backs can't move.
They're fairly quick. They're still young.
Are they?
But yeah.
I just had visions of them being really old men, like the 2 old men in the Muppets.
No, you get confused. You think, Duffy is actually younger than Dunk. Dunk's only 25, 26. So they're a fairly young centre-back pairing.
Oh, so we can't really just rely on Aubameyang to do them for pace.
No, but I imagine them to sit quite deep, be quite conservative, as we see from a lot of Chris Hughton sides. They've always tended to do that against the bigger sides, and just try and hold out and get something on the counter. But that counter attack isn't particularly quick. It's not like Wolves, Leicester, or Palace that we've come up against. So I think we'll be okay from that regard.
So if we're going to play 4 at the back, are you going to say that it's going to be 3 pack the midfield?
Yeah, so three pack the midfield. Couple of wingers.
Though? Not the Guendouzi Elneny combination, because that won't even work against Brighton, will it?
I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Willock made an appearance.
We've got some wonderful young players, and the under-23 season is over. And Torreira only came on as a sub against Valencia, didn't he? So
agreed. So I think we probably. I wouldn't be surprised if Joe Willock made an appearance in the starting 11.
That'd be good. Maybe Eddie coming on as a sub.
Yeah, I think from the cameo he showed last week, I think Eddie would be in a good option to probably come on as well. Iwobi and Mkhitaryan will probably start as well. Bearing in mind they didn't really feature against Valencia. Mesut Ozil, he doesn't have to travel north for this game other than across the river. So he might be about as well.
And he had a really good game against Valencia, I thought.
Yeah, I think so as well.
So it's a class player when he wants to be. Right, I think we've covered everything there. We've now done 22 minutes. These shows are getting longer and longer. Right, prediction.
I will go with 2-0 to the Arsenal.
I'm going to go 3-0. I said 3-0 against Valencia, and it's 3-1. You said 2-0 against. Did you say 2-1 against Valencia?
I said 2-1 against Valencia.
We're both 1 goal out. Oh, dear listener. Viewer, not listener. Sorry, Naz. Right, I think that's it. Any idea who's on the live show?
Dom, Jason, and John, I believe.
The dream team.
Yeah.
Wow, you people are so lucky. And I just want to say thank you to everybody who watched the live show in midweek. At the Valencia one, we had about 320 people watching that live, and we ever get a little graph, and it starts with 0, obviously, because that's how graphs work, and it went up to about 300, and it stayed 300 all the way to the very end, and that was fantastic. And we got lots of donations, which are good, because we're going to get Jason a new knee. If he's a good boy. Unless anyone's got a spare knee, and let us know. I've got 2 good knees that have never been used, but I want to keep them, otherwise my knees will look silly. I'm going to go now, Josh, before I start whipping along about the cat. The cats are looking at me. Right, thank you very much for joining me, Josh. This has been entertaining.
It has very much been entertaining, and I hope all of the listeners agree with it as well.
And on that wonderful note, goodbye to Cardiff.